Hey guys, it's Elf. If you don't know me, my name is Duchess Dank and you can find me on Instagram. And today I thought I'd just do a get to know me Q&A because you guys have sent me so many questions on Instagram, so I thought it'd be a good YouTube video to start off with. So I'll start off with the most asked question, I guess, and that is, how did you become a model? There's a few different variations of them, so So how did I become a model? Basically, I've always had a love for photography and modeling. I just never thought that I'd be in front of the camera. I always thought I'd be behind it, directing and making stuff. So definitely I'd have to say Tumblr at a really young age was a pretty big influence on my love for photography and modeling as well, just because
and brutal shit.
I did have a Tumblr for many years, but I felt like Tumblr wasn't really I don't know, it was just an outlet. It wasn't something that I thought was actually going to go anywhere. So, next question. How did you start modeling and how did you become comfortable to do so? Honestly, sometimes I still struggle a bit with confidence. I think everybody does. It's just about finding what works for you and getting to know you more and becoming more comfortable in your own skin. And for me, finding specific projects that I want to work on and different art styles that I want to work on has kind of really pushed me to want to be comfortable modeling and to continue to find different things and alleys to do. Right from a really young age, actually. And I first got into photography probably when I was about 13 or 14. I had some body image issues and some self-confidence issues, and I wanted to see what I actually looked like behind the camera, because I felt like what I was actually seeing was different to what everybody else was interpreting. And so I decided to do my first shoot, and right from then I absolutely fell in love with photography. How old were you when you decided to get into modeling? So yeah, 13, 14 about was when I first got into modeling, and then it took a few years until I actually decided that I wanted it to be a thing. How did you find success in freelance modeling? So honestly, I'm still not that successful in terms of freelance modeling. I don't make as much money as I would like to make. Honestly, it's just something you have to work on 24/7, and you have to have the passion and you have to want to keep going with it, I guess. And yeah. Okay, so the next question is, tell us the story of Your Many Names by Missy Bug. And basically, my mum is eccentric as fuck. This one is a bit of a long one. I have quite a few middle names, and all of her children have a pretty long name. I have 6 names all up, including my first and last name. So my full name is Elf Oceana Orion Faye Aura Ellis, but I usually just go by Elf Ellis. Okay, so my next 2 questions, they're kind of on the same subject. How do you come up with your photo ideas by Zara DC, and what inspires you? So how I come up with my photo ideas comes from things that inspire me, whether that's nature, the earth, the sky, other influences, artwork that I've loved for years. I like to expand my knowledge almost in every art field, I guess, just because I love creating stuff, and I love drawing inspiration from things that might not necessarily seem like something you can draw inspiration from. So yeah, that's a bit of a hard question to answer, but I do have a few other questions in here that will expand a little more on what inspires me. Next question is, are you still doing resin art and jewelry by Pagan Portal? Yes. Yes, I am still doing resin art. Yes, I am still doing jewelry. I am taking a little break on the Elves Emporium at the moment. For those of you that don't know, the Elves Emporium is my company. I'm taking a little break from it because I want to build up the stock and the stuff that I can release to you guys, and sort of build it more up behind the scenes before I actually go fully public and make it an everyday thing, because I really would like to see my company flourish. And yeah, I've got some cool things in store for you guys. So this next question is from my friend Lara. If you could do anything in the world, what would you do? Honestly, I'm already doing it. I'm already trying to figure out who I am and what I want and what I can achieve. So I guess I'm already chasing that, in terms of if I could do anything in the world, what would I do? I'm already trying to achieve that, so yeah. This next question is from Solar Spooky, and where did the opportunity to be published in an international mag arise? Congrats, by the way. Thank you, lovely. I was actually really lucky. If you look at the last 2 YouTube videos that I have put up, that is sort of like the behind the scenes to the photography and the makeup for the magazine editorial. So the opportunity arose basically, I met this amazing makeup artist, Elvis, and I can put her details down in the description. And basically I just met her through Instagram, and we both really liked each other's work, so we decided to collaborate, and I've collaborated with her so many times since then, and I absolutely love her work. She's so talented, and so meeting her was how I got the opportunity to be in an international magazine. And also the photographer of the shoot, which is Donatella Parasini, and she's lovely. She's lovely to work with. I love her photography, and I can put her details down in the description too for you guys. So this is another question that I'm really glad somebody asked. I'm just answering the question, and the question is from Fucking Skits. Love you. Tips on dealing with depression. But again, the things that may work for me probably won't work for everybody. Just putting that out there. But my tips on dealing with depression would definitely have to be taking care of yourself in terms physically, in terms of hygiene, and making sure that you're fed and you've got enough water in your system is definitely a really big part. Doing some exercise regularly. It doesn't have to be crazy exercise, just a little bit to get your heart pumping every day is awesome for depression and anxiety even. Tea. Tea. I love tea. Anytime I'm really anxious, red rooibos is my go-to. I don't drink coffee, so I don't really depend on caffeine, which definitely I feel was a big step, because when I did drink caffeine, waking up in the mornings and kind of getting to who I am and what I want to do for the day was a lot harder when I was drinking coffee. And I definitely recommend Red Rooibos just because it has absolutely no caffeine in it. It's got about 5 or 6 different major health benefits, including your liver and your skin and even your brain. So definitely recommend that. Also, with depression, I feel like when I'm stuck in a rut, and if I've either done all of those things and they don't help, or I'm too far gone for any of those things to help, definitely getting out of your own head. So Netflix for me is a really, really big thing. It just takes me out of my own head. I can focus on something else. Definitely, I probably don't overuse it too much. I mean, I'm a bit of a Netflix addict, but I still try and be productive and not focus my whole day on watching stuff. And yeah, so definitely in terms of dealing with depression, it's really just about getting to know yourself and getting to see how and what works best for you. Definitely, if you feel like it might be a little bit too much for you or anything, consult someone about it, talk to a GP, talk to a psychologist, work through your problems, because pushing stuff below the surface and pretending it doesn't exist might work in short term, but it won't help you in the long term. And that's what I've found for me. So I hope that some of this helps for anybody out there struggling with depression. I know it's really, really hard, and I know it's hard to see any sort of light at the end of the tunnel, but you just have to keep pushing and you will get there. So I hope that helped somebody. And if you have any depression tips or anxiety tips, I'd love to hear them. Like, please comment them, and yeah, just try and get as much information as you can to make an informed decision about what works best for you. And next question is from Cult of Cosmo. What drives your creativity? So, what drives my creativity? Definitely a big influence in why I'm so creative and always have wanted to chase a creative outlet was definitely growing up with a artistic mother. Honestly, I kind of have to strive a little bit and work on my creativity. I'm not always creative or feel like being creative, but I always want to be creative in terms of my life. Like, I'm a creative person. We have another one from Cult of Cosmo. Thank you, lovely. How do you maintain authenticity and originality? I feel like as an artist, and I feel like many other artists feel this way, you have to kind of constantly work to try and be authentic and original. And especially with how much art has taken off in basically since social media existed. The art world was very, very different back in the day before social media and all of that. So I feel nowadays it is a lot easier to get on a creative path. But definitely, if you're somebody who really loves creating, whether it be content, photography, modeling, actually building things with your hands, tattooing, anything creative, I feel that if you're a true artist, and yeah, I feel like if you're a true artist, you will constantly be questioning your authenticity and originality. But that's just part of being an artist. And yeah, you just kind of have to work through that and find other things that inspire you, or look for inspiration in things that you haven't looked for inspiration in before. So definitely, yeah, definitely authenticity and originality is something that you have to constantly work on it, especially with different trends coming out every single day, and basically so many different categories that people categorize themselves in. There's a lot more than it used to be back in the day, so it's a lot easier to find niche markets, I guess you could say, in this day and age. But definitely keeping authenticity and originality is something you have to work on all the time. Okay, so the next question is a hard question. It's a bit of a long one. It's from Young Media. Who are your idols and why? Again, self-explanatory. I have a lot of idols, and a lot of people that influence me on the daily. Again, this is just a very, very small list. I have a lot more people that inspire me. So, my idols and the people who inspire me are Shade Lena, Ragmoth, Plastic, Internet Girl, Katie Westwood, Claire Kipley, Me Love Me A Lot, John Yuyi, Goth Fruits, and Koala Puffs. This isn't a question, this is just my friend, Pagan Portal. Please collab with me again soon, and don't worry, I got you, boo. If there was no money involved, what would your ideal job be? If there was no money involved, so I'm assuming that means if I'm not getting paid for my work. Definitely the only career path that I could see myself working in without getting paid would probably have to be the medicinal cannabis industry. I have just found it to be so rewarding, and it's something that I have a big passion for. So definitely that would be my ideal job, if there was no money involved. This next question is from fucking Skits again. Love you. What do you want out of life? So, honestly, I just want to be content. I want to be happy. I want to be in a path that I've chosen, that I want to go down, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm happy with the stuff that I'm doing. Of life in general, I mean, I'd love to own a house at some point. I'd love to be financially stable, and I'd love to have my company flourishing, and yeah, so that's the stuff I want out of life, in terms of that. And in terms of relationship, I've already got what I want out of life. So okay, so this is a question that I am so happy someone asked this. Where is the Australian medical cannabis industry headed in the next 5 years? From Missy Bug. So in terms of where I want to see the medical cannabis industry head is on a path where it's not privatized, it's legal, it's taxed but not heavily, to the point where it helps our country flourish and grow, but not to the point where it's actually getting in the way, in terms of prices for patients. So I believe Australia could go towards America in terms of legalization, for both medicinal and recreational use, but I really do believe it's down to support. It's down to how much people really want to fight for it, and how much people really want it to actually be available for the people that need it. So we're definitely in a stage where our decisions that and our actions that we make now affect the future in terms of that. So definitely I would love to see it go in a good direction, and I would love to keep working in the medicinal cannabis industry. I did work for Australia's first medical marijuana genetics company for almost a year, and I was managing it for most of that time, and I think it can really go to some awesome places, and I'd love to continue working in the industry, but at the moment there aren't that many jobs, so hopefully that will change in the coming years. But thank you for asking that question. I have a few more questions left, but sadly I've run out of space on my phone to film, so sorry I have to cut it short, guys, but I hope you enjoyed my video, and I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel for a while now, so huge shout out to everybody who gave me a question in my Instagram. Thank you for watching.